Right, so we're up at the allotment now, and I've got the bow already strung. Got a few arrows here, and we're just going to do a couple of test shots really to see how the overall thing is performing and holding up. So here we go. That's pretty good. That feels quite nice to shoot. Arrows are coming out of it fairly straight and clean, and we're going to say that that's pretty much done. Alright, back from the allotment. The bow is looking quite good. I've looked at the videos from the few arrows that I shot through it up at the allotment there, and the tiller doesn't look as bad as I thought it might have to begin with, so a little bit of reprieve there. There's a slight bit of stiffness here still in the fades, but as I said, at this point I'm not going to let that worry me. The bow's shooting well. It was a nice clean release from the bow, and it's around the 42 pound mark, so this is not a million miles away from what we originally wanted to do. So at this point it's been cleaned up, it's been sanded. The only thing left to do is give it a coat of oil, and what I have here is some Danish oil. I'm going to give it a couple of coats of this. Well, it's in a couple of coats. I'll probably give it about 3 or 4 coats. So we just want to put some of that in there. And to begin with, I'm just going to apply this with a cloth, just to get an overall coating on the bow, to sort of seal it a little. And this really is very simple stuff to use. It gives a nice finish. It's not a gloss finish that you'll get from this. It's sort of a matte sheen it has. So we have the first coat on there. Now, what I like to do, what I think helps with Danish oil to close the grain up, is to apply it with a little piece of wet and dry paper. This is a fairly light grade. I think it was 2500 grit or something like that. And essentially what I do with that is just dip the paper in the oil, so there's a little bit of oil on it, and then just start gently rubbing that into the handle. And any little pores in the grain or anything like that will be taken up by this action. Now, this takes a little while to do, so I'm just going to get on with it here. Especially around the handle section, I think, where the bow's going to get handled a lot. Like so. Then again I would take the cloth and I would just rub that in. We don't want it to be sitting there with a heavy film of the oil on it. It'll take a very long time to dry, and it doesn't give the best sort of finish. So what I find is, like, rub the oil in with the wet and dry paper, and then just rub any excess back off the bow like this. Just bring that handle section over to show you, because that's looking quite nice. That's sort of showing up the colour of the Purple Heart beautifully. And as I said, it's just closing the grain on the ash here, leaving a nice smooth surface to it. So that done, I would essentially just give that maybe a couple of hours just to allow anything on the surface to dry off. Then I would give it another coat. I'd check it. If it needs another coat with a wet and dry, do it with a wet and dry. If you think it simply needs another coating with a cloth, do it that way. But all in all, the bow's turned out quite nicely. What I'm going to do now is brace it up, and I'm going to take some close-up photographs of it just to show you the details that we might have missed in the video. Right, so that was some close-up photos of it. The oil has sank in and it's dried and it's looking really nice. So there it is. There's that whole series of videos should give you some idea of how to make a bow like this. In the future we'll do different types of bow. I think possibly we'll do an English longbow next. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any comments or anything you would like to tell me about bow making or anything like this, feel free to do so. Just leave the comments below. Thanks a lot. Bye.